6th May 2019. I will never forget the sense of achievement mingled with cautious hesitation as I marched down the aisle, a lump in my throat and a feeling of trepidation in my heart, eagerly anticipating my investiture as the assistant prefect of the school by Reverend Father Rector. This was a day that marked a new beginning for me. A new beginning not merely in terms of responsibility, duty or leadership, but also kind of an adventure. Under the tutelage of the Senior Student Council and the benevolent guidance of our Salesian fathers and teachers, we, the Greenhorn members of the Class 10 wing of the Student Council, slowly but gradually learned the tricks of the trade. Two experiences especially stood out for me. The first being, of course, Bosco Fest 2019. The first time I witnessed, as well as got to be a part of, the meticulous energy and the tremendous effort that is expended to organize the most prominent fest in the Kolkata school circuit. From staying back in school till midnight the week before the event, to taking power naps on the floor of Sir Sam's office and drinking countless cans of Coke when the exhaustion got to us, we've probably done it all. And it was all worth it. All the effort that we put in, all the hard work we did, when the event turned out to be a grand, almost unprecedented success. The second experience was my first and unfortunately last time as a school representative to Bosco Expressions, the fest of Don Bosco School Bandel. Although our contingent led by Sir Mandal and Sir Goswami, our teachers in charge, was small, what we lacked for in quantity, we made up for in quality. The talent each member of our team possessed was almost beyond compare, so much so that we dominated almost all of the limited events we participated in. Fast forward to 2021, I haven't been to school for almost 2 years now. To be honest, when I began writing this speech, I wanted to not talk about all the things we missed, me as well as my classmates missed, because it's not easy to talk about. This courtyard is where we grew up. I remember when the first day I came to school in class 1, that was the tree my friends and I climbed, and that was our notion of enjoyment in that time. However, times change, and as the wise people say, tempus fugit, time flies, and today, 12 years later, when I see that tree, I am still reminded of that event as if it were yesterday. That field right there, that is the location of our incessant arguments and also our merry camaraderie as we indulged in what we termed as football, but what the professionals would term as some kind of gully sport maybe. It's the thrill of wandering the corridors or meeting our friends in other sections in between the classes while someone stood sentinel at the door to warn us of the approaching teacher. These chairs, these are not merely pieces of furniture for us. They are nostalgia arranged in an order, marking the flow of time, the ebb and flow of time, I must say. And these are our memories. These are precisely what we live for today. We miss interacting with our teachers, morning assemblies, special assemblies, prayer, observations. Although I'm pretty sure most of us would prefer to miss that last part, even in normal school. Within the student council, we miss the happy camaraderie and cooperation as we organized a quality event, and more importantly, the euphoria of achievement when the event turned out to be a success. But while I acknowledge the need to understand what we have lost as a class, it is more important to see how we can grow from this experience, because it is a fundamental truth of life that change is the only constant. As the old adage goes, tempora mutantur nos et mutamur in illis, which means times change and we must change with the times. But while I realize the need to acknowledge what we have lost as a class, it is more important to focus on how we can grow out of this situation, what lessons we can take from this situation. It is a fundamental truth of life that change is the only constant, and the only thing we can rely on is that time will keep flowing and the future will arrive, and the future will bring great new things, great new and unexpected things for all of us. After all, it's a matter of perspective. A farmer planted a seed. Did he bury it Well, yes, but more importantly, he planted it. He planted it to grow out of the soil, to grow out of the burden that was placed on it. In a similar way, it is a test of our character. The pandemic is a test of our character. It is easy to feel buried by what's happening around us, staying 2 years at home without any social life to speak of. But I prefer to look at it from the perspective of being planted. I am being planted in a way that will allow me to grow out of this adverse situation, out of these adverse circumstances, and make me more resilient, make me more confident to tackle any challenges that the future may throw at me with elan, with panache. Although I as prefect have admittedly not been operating to the best of my capacity, I too have had my fair share of highs this year. For example, organizing a YouTube video with my close friends and a few teachers for Teachers' Day, where I danced for the first time in a choreographed performance in my life. And secondly, coordinating the activities of press reporters and celebrating on the contents of press releases and reports as the head of internal press for Bosco Model United Nations 2021. I feel this pandemic and being cooped up in our homes for so long has taught us to appreciate the smaller things in life, because what we often tend to forget, or what we often don't think important to remember, is that it's the smaller things in life which leave the most lasting and impactful memories. Most importantly, this pandemic was not the defining event of our class, or for any other class for that matter, and we should never let it be so. We had monumental experiences while we were at school physically, and we are having monumental experiences now, albeit of a different subdued kind. But what I am sure about is that just as a cyclone creates a path for itself in the wake of its destruction, each and every student of the batch of 2022, as well as the future batches of Don Bosco School Park Circus, will create a path for themselves, will carve a niche for themselves in society, and keep the school flag high. I would like to thank my Salesian fathers as well as all my teachers for giving me the rare opportunity to be the prefect of this prestigious institution. And I would like to wish all the best to the future generations of Bosconians. Thank you.